There is now. 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 Much thanks. Okay. So what have I been covering? Slightly imbalanced map, because there's siege tanks being able to siege here and then take out the gas on the third, and also the incredibly close drop locations. Both players so far going standard. What else is there? The players themselves are Diamond League, not Diamond League, sorry, Masters. xpIcy is a reasonably high Masters, and Sinister is a more mid Masters. But both incredibly talented players. So this Overlord from xpIcy allows them to scout the gases. Against Terran, I don't think you can scout all that much, because at the moment they'll be going for a heavy SCV count, and both the gases will have been taken in their main if they're planning on doing a sort of tech, so the gases won't be taken for quite a while, unless they're going for incredibly heavy mech play, which will require them to get Thors and tanks and all the upgrades for those which are very heavy on the gas. So xpIcy's third's now coming up, which is, I would say, quite a good timing, because he has some creep spread going towards. He's got quite a good drone count now, and he also has an Overlord scouting for drops and an Overlord which is going to be scouting for buildings unless he's running it away. No, that was just a misclick. So 4 Hellions going to be pushing around a bit, trying to put on some harassment for Sinister as he now takes his third. So what this means is that he can also go for Banshees, without cloak in this case. He'll often be able to completely deny the third, because a single Banshee is able to take out a Queen on its own in a one-on-one fight. So there's going to need to be Spore Crawlers put up there, or at least this Queen taken over to help, in addition to the one that should now be building on the third. So quite a few Lings have come out for xpIcy, and in order to try and deny any aggression going into his actual base, there's quite good Hellion harassment. Only, I think, losing 2 Hellions in that engagement, but taking out maybe 10 Zerglings, but the Queen's coming to push them out, as she's incredibly good versus Hellions. So they now run away, getting a full scout on the third, and knowing that there won't be many units, but there should hopefully be plenty and plenty of Zerglings being produced in order to prevent him from doing any further harassment, as we now see in the production tab. Drops are actually coming out as well as Carapace and Baneling speed, so it looks like there is going to be a Zergling Baneling drop. Normally lots of people do this with Roaches instead, but it works effectively with just Zerglings and Banelings. The idea being that you drop and can immediately be sitting on the Terran's production, and you have essentially the defense advantage, because they can't easily run all the way up this ramp without being able to run back down to escape from your Banelings. It actually looks like Sinister's going to be going for mech play, and as of course these refineries have now been taken, he's getting quite far. Well, he's starting up his upgrades at a reasonable time, but he wants to be able to take his third at some point. But it's quite difficult to when you're not playing a very mobile style. So these 2 Banshees are now clearing out some creep spread, which is incredibly annoying for the Zerg. But they are going to be, unfortunately, requiring more than one scan. I think they have actually just seen the drops coming in. So how is he going to react? He is not going to react at all, as 16 Zerglings are going to be coming into his main. What's he going to do about it? He's still not moved any units. He really ought to have done, to be honest. But he presumably just doesn't think they're all that worthwhile. So the Zerglings aren't actually doing all that much because there's only 16 of them. So the Blue Flame Hellions are coming around the back to provide any defence, and so these are now just picked up and flown away, but the main idea of this was as a distraction. But he's now just worked out he's going full mech, so these Zerglings are going to be incredibly inefficient versus these Hellions, but because they've got a very good surround, they're going to be able to do some damage. He wants to run straight into this mineral line to be able to do even more damage, but this push is actually now going to be completely cleaned up with probably a small lead in his drone count, but a quite large loss in terms of what he's able to do. So the range upgrade is now coming up for Zerg, along with Roach, Roach 1, which has now been completed. He wants to get Roach speed on that, because unfortunately at the moment he can't actually do much if the Terran does push out with these Blue Flame Hellions, because they're so strong against Zerglings. I think they two-shot them. 35 health, and these with just +1 do 21 damage against light units, nearly just over twice the damage. And if it looks like he might be doing a small push, as he's got a pack of 10 SCVs, so this could be an incredibly strong push with 5 Thors, about 15 Hellions, and the question is, will he be able to hold this off with a not very good unit composition? He has Baneling speed, which can help incredibly if the Terran does step on creep, because it allows you to get a good surround, but it's not very hopeful for the Zerg. It looks like he's actually going to be trying to drop his units on top of the Terran so that the Hellions can't do any real splash damage, but what he actually wants out is pure Roach to be able to defend this push, to focus fire down the Thors, because you can essentially just ignore Hellions because they only do 9 damage for Roaches, which will take absolutely ages to kill things, whereas these Thors do 66 damage per shot, which should, I think, allow them to 3-shot them. Very good fungals going down over the over everything, and Bailey is coming in to drop on the Hellions, of which there's only 3 left now. The Thors reasonably far damaged. There's quite a few infested Terrans coming out. One of the Thors is getting incredibly low on health, but it's not doing very well considering that SCVs are still alive to repair, as they're now being repaired up, and there's only Roaches coming out now. It's quite a big swell of units, but I think it's going to be incredibly hard for the Zerg to hold off with these Banshees going like wailing on the natural base that goes down. The drones are now running away, and GG is called.